doesn't really land any damage on the ground. If he takes you down, can he hold you down? I don't think he can hold most people down. I don't think he's UFC level. Santos is probably the best guy in the UFC that's 0-2. My funky pick of the week is going to be... What's up, boys? Back with another quick picks video. Today we're going to be breaking down Burns versus Brady in the Apex. Some interesting matchups. Let's get into it. First fight up, Zygimantas Ramaska versus Nathan Fletcher. This is a pretty interesting matchup just because there's a lot of question marks. They were supposed to fight last week. Both of them apparently had staph infection. Both of them from the Ultimate Fighter. Fletcher lost his first fight in the Ultimate Fighter. Ramaska won. He had to pull out of his next fight. I'd say Ramaska is the more dangerous fighter. He can win on the feet, win on the ground. Fletcher, he wants to take you down and submit you or get ground control time, work in a submission. Ramaska's problem is that if he gets taken down, he doesn't really look like he can get up, so that's why I'm going to favor Fletcher here. But both of them are pretty question marky fighters, low-level guys, so not much confidence, but give me Fletcher by decision, low confidence. Next fight up, Andrade Petroski versus Budka. I'd say this is just probably my most confident pick on the card. Petroski is better than him everywhere. He's a better wrestler. He's better on the feet, has more power, has submission threat. Budka wants to take you down, but honestly, he kind of just smothers you because he doesn't really land any damage on the ground. If he takes you down, can he hold you down? I don't think he can hold most people down. I don't think he's UFC level. Petroski, he's better than him everywhere. I'm really confident in him. I think that he's going to find the submission. It's just whether he's going to knock him out or submit him. But I feel like he's going to work in a takedown, or Budka's going to work in a takedown and then get submitted. So I believe that Petroski is a lot better than him on the ground. Petroski by submission in the first round, medium-high confidence. Next fight up, Jaqueline Amorim versus Vanessa Demopoulos. I'd say Amorim is pretty dangerous. She has good wins in the UFC just by her being a dangerous fighter because there's not many women that are as dangerous as her. She has all finishes. Vanessa Demopoulos, she has a lot of decision wins that are bullshit wins or robberies. I feel like she lost against Dakota, not a robbery. Marotte, I think that was a robbery big time. Even though Marotte didn't land too much damage, I feel like she just got controlled, taken down and controlled. Carolina lost. She's decent. I'd say that Demopoulos doesn't have really... She's honestly going to split decisions or should be losing these fights in a lot of her fights. I'd say her best thing is that she's really tough. She would just keep moving forward, keep putting the pace, and not give up on herself. So there is that. And the way that Amorim lost was by having a really good first round, then gassing out and getting just the pressure put on her and losing like that. I believe that the odds are too wide because Amorim could possibly gas and Demopoulos always is in there. And I think that she can win a round possibly, but I honestly don't really see this fight going to decision, even though Demopoulos is tough. She hasn't been submitted. She hasn't been knocked out. But Amorim, I feel like the danger is there. She always will be looking for it, and she's fine with her being on her back. And Demopoulos might get a little overzealous and try to do some damage on top and get submitted because I feel like Amorim is a different beast on the ground. She's really dangerous. I think that she can just find any submission on most girls. So I'm going to be picking Amorim by submission in the first round. Low-medium confidence. Next fight up, Gabriel Santos versus Yi Zha. I'd say that Zha, he probably is pretty decent, but I don't know if he's even UFC level just because a lot of these people coming from road to UFC, they're a bit fraud checky. They aren't really proven. They have a lot of fights. He is young. He's only 27 with, 29 fights. And on the other hand, Santos with only 12 fights or pro fights. Santos is probably the best guy in the UFC that's 0-2. I'd say that he's dangerous on the feet. He's really dangerous on the ground. He brings it. He's tough. He got matched up against Onama, got knocked out, but he found success in that fight too, and Onama is good. And then I thought that he won against Murphy. A lot of people thought he won against Murphy, so I don't know if it's necessarily a robbery, but Murphy is proven. He's really technical. He has takedowns of his own, and holding his own against Murphy shows a lot to me. And watching the tape of Santos, he looks really good. So I'm going to be favoring Santos. I think that he can actually find the knockout just because this is a lower level fighter that he's fighting against. I don't think it's anybody like Onama or Murphy, and he's putting those guys in danger as well. So I'm going to be picking Santos by knockout in the first round, medium confidence. Next fight up, Andrade Lima versus Felipe Dos Santos. A lot of people, looks like more people are favoring Dos Santos, and I'd say that this was a pretty close, maybe fight. It could go either way. I think that Lima is the more technical guy. He'll be able to stay on the outside, and it kind of showed against his last fight against Mitch Raposo. Even though Raposo, I don't believe, is UFC level, he honestly couldn't really do anything on the feet. He couldn't step in. He couldn't pressure. And I feel like Dos Santos, he has really good output, or at least he had good output against Kopp. But I feel like Kopp was kind of bringing it to him and letting him get the strikes in. Because when in his last fight, when we saw against Victor, he got taken down, which I feel like Lima can take him down. Victor, he also outstruck him, made Dos Santos look pretty shit. I'd say Dos Santos, he definitely can bring it. He definitely is tough. I think he'll be able to survive anything that Lima throws just because Lima isn't really that urgent. But Lima, he's really technical. He's safe. He throws leg kicks. He throws a lot of leg kicks to just keep the distance away. He's not. He has knockouts, but I honestly don't really see him really knocking out any UFC level guys. And Dos Santos, he's probably UFC level just because the technique is there and he's really tough. Lima by decision is going to be my pick, and it's going to be low medium confidence. Next fight up, Isaac Dulgarian versus Brendon Marotte. I'd say that there's not really much point to talk about this. Dulgarian is like a minus 1800 or minus 3000 or whatever the fuck he is. Dulgarian, he's a proven guy. He has the way that he wins is by getting takedowns, ground and pound, or looking for the submission. He's really in your face. He's gonna bring it. Tough, powerful, strong. Only thing that might be bad is his cardio, but he's not gonna have any problems with the kid Brendon Marotte. So give me Isaac Dulgarian by first round knockout, high confidence. Starting off the main card, Rong Zhu versus Chris Padilla. I think this is a pretty interesting matchup just because it's whether Rong Zhu can stuff the takedowns of Padilla, because Padilla has some pretty good takedowns, has good intensity, but I think that if this fight is on the feet, Rong Zhu is going to be able to just land the better shots. He has decent power, and he has decent combos as well. He has a lot more fights than him. And I'd say that he's faced decent guys. He's not looked the worst against them. Bahamundez got submitted. He got pieced up too, but I think he's been getting some knockout wins, a submission win. They're not bad wins, and I'd say that Rong Zhu, his takedown defense seems like it's good enough to stuff the takedowns. And I think Padilla, he just seems a little bit not as comfortable on the feet as Rong Zhu, not as much power, even if he has finishing ability on the feet and in the ground. I feel like Rong Zhu has takedowns of his own. He can stuff the takedowns, keep the fight on the feet, land the better shots, and land more output. And so I think that Rong Zhu is going to end up winning by decision, low confidence, but Padilla definitely has a way to win. Next fight up, Trevor Peak versus Yanal Ashmouz. I'd say that Trevor Peak, he's really entertaining. He doesn't have as much technique, and that kind of showed in his last fight against Campbell. And even his win against Yaya, he had to get in takedowns, and Yaya is pretty shit. He's not UFC level. So him winning by decision kind of shows that if the person is kind of tough, they'll be able to survive. And Ashmouz is definitely tough because he broke his arm against the Chris Duncan fight, managed to survive, and he is pretty dangerous himself. He has knockout ability, but I don't see Trevor Peak getting finished on the feet. Maybe a submission, but he just seems too gritty, too tough. Too strong to tap or get knocked out. Seems really hard to knock him out, especially earlier on. Maybe if he starts getting in more of these wars, then he'll start to diminish a little bit. But I kind of like Peak here, but really low confidence just because Ashmouz is more technical. Trevor Peak is probably one of the least technical people in the UFC. He's just basically living off of the toughness that he has, but he honestly can knock out people, and just the pressure that he has is really good. So there's like a difference between like saying, "Oh, you're really bad," but he's not a bad fighter just from his toughness, his grit, and his just willingness to fight and not give up on himself. He'll keep coming forward, keep fighting for you. So if you're picking him, betting on him, he'll definitely fight for your money, even if he's getting beat. And I think that he can work in takedowns. Ashmouz seems like he can get taken down and held down. Looking at he got kind of held down and taken down by one of his recent fights. But I think that Trevor Peak, if he struggles on the feet, I think that he'll be able to get takedowns and keep the pressure going forward. I don't think he'll be able to finish Ashmouz just because he is really tough himself, but I think that he can definitely put him in deep waters, make him struggle. And if they're both tired, I feel like Peak can definitely get a takedown in. So give me Peak by decision, low confidence. Next fight up, Matt Schnell versus Cody Durden. The only thing that's making me a little bit cautious is that Cody Durden is stepping on really short notice. Schnell was supposed to fight Costa. I was really high on Costa, but he had to pull out. Matt Schnell, he's honestly probably on his way out. He's been knocked out like 5 times. Got knocked out by Steve Erceg, got knocked out by Nicolau, got submitted by Royval, got knocked out by Pantoja. Even though that these guys are high level guys, I'd say that just getting that much punishment, going through wars, taking that much damage is just too much on you, and confidence level destroyed just by losing these fights, getting knocked out. Cody Durden just coming off a knockout loss 1 month ago, so that is another caution. I'd say that Cody Durden, he is really in your face. He has really good takedowns. He has really good pressure. In that fight against Silva, he actually was looking pretty good. He was bringing it to him that first round. He was piecing up Silva, made it look like he was just gonna just steamroll through him, but then ended up getting caught and knocked out. I mean, that's just how MMA works, and especially when you're fighting against the top guy. So it's not a bad loss either, because Silva is pretty good. Ulanbekov got caught in a submission. Another good guy. But Matt Schnell, I feel like he's on his way out. Durden, even him coming off a knockout loss, makes me a little bit scared that he's gonna be able to get it done. But I think that he's just coming in. If he's able to take this fight, I feel like he's ready for it. So give me Durden by knockout in the first round, and to keep Schnell get knocked out, medium confidence. Next fight up, Kyle Nelson versus Steve Garcia. It looks like Steve Garcia is the man of the hour, with a lot of people picking Steve Garcia. I'd say that Garcia, he's looking really good by having 4 knockouts in a row against decent guys. I'd say that the problem with him is that he's kind of just like too much of just bite down on your mouthpiece and swing and bang. He gets caught. Kyle Nelson, he's looking like he's on a resurgence. Both these guys probably didn't start off their careers the best, but 16-5, but they're on a 4-fight win streak, 3-fight win streak. Do-Hoi Choi, he should have lost that fight. Got a point taken away from Do-Hoi Choi. It was a draw. Blake Builder, not the best win because he's not that crazy good. Padilla, he's unproven, but he looks like he can be something maybe, and he's tall, long, and has power. Bill Algeo, that knockout win was an early stoppage, but Kyle Nelson is looking like he's getting better each fight. And honestly, I think that he actually ends up winning this fight just by keeping the fight more composed and avoid the knockout blow from Garcia. And I feel like Garcia is going to end up getting caught in this fight, even with Nelson pulling the more calm approach. I feel like Garcia brings the intensity. He can also get the knockout win for sure. I'd say that he just gets caught a little too much, and I feel like the higher he gets up in the division, the higher he moves up the ranks, he just gotta end up getting knocked out, just because, or he's just gonna have to change his style, because he can't just come out with 100% freaking power, 100% speed, just coming out, just banging, brawling like that. The higher level guys are gonna avoid the knockout blows and pick their shots. So I think that Nelson will be able to. Nelson will probably get clipped, or get hurt maybe by Garcia, just because he always kind of hurts somebody or he brings the intensity. It's hard to avoid it, especially if you're also similar level to him. But I feel like Nelson, he's improved a lot. He can keep his distance, find the knockout blow by Garcia overextending. So give me Kyle Nelson by knockout in the first round, low confidence. Next fight up, heading into the co-main event, Jessica Andrade versus Natalia Silva. I think this is a really interesting one just because Natalia Silva is looking like a really good prospect. She's young, 27. Guess not crazy young, but she's coming into her prime. Andrade, she's gotten a bounce back off a KO win and a decision win against Rodriguez, which is a really good win just because Rodriguez is somewhat similar to Silva, where she's a really good striker that keeps a distance, but I feel like Silva is a lot faster, a lot more clean, has takedowns of her own. Andrade, she's really powerful, she's proven, but she's 32 years old, which isn't too old, but she had so many fights in the UFC. I feel like without her 2-fight win streak, she got finished 3 times in a row. Her getting outboxed by Erin Blanchfield kind of just makes the pick itself, because Silva is really fast. She's really technical, keeps her distance, has leg kicks, has takedowns. Even though I don't think she'll go for takedowns this fight, it's in her tool belt, and she can also have decent takedown defense. A lot of her Teresa Bleda went for a lot of takedowns, blocked them. Jasmine Juzevicius has good takedowns, stuffed them. A lot of her wins are pretty technical. I think that this fight is going to go to the decision. There's a chance of a knockout just by Andrade being a little bit hunting for the kill while she's down, and Silva just still staying composed, and then end up finding a shot by Andrade overextending. But I think that this fight's got to go to decision. I think Silva is a prospect. I think that she's really going to be a contender after this fight. But this is her toughest matchup for sure. So Andrade could give Silva her first UFC loss. But I'd say Silva will be able to pull through. The odds are a little bit too wide, just because this is the biggest matchup Silva's faced, but give me Silva by decision, low medium confidence. Heading into the main event, Gilbert Burns versus Sean Brady. Seems like people are favoring Brady here, 55%. I feel like Gilbert Burns is getting disrespected here. Burns, he's on a 2-fight loss streak, lost to Jack Della Maddalena, got knocked out, but the problem is he took him down, won 3 rounds, basically. He had 2 rounds banked, and the 3rd round he was winning, and then he got knocked out late. Jack, a lot of people are giving him big ups, saying he's a really good prospect, might be UFC champ, but are like shitting on Burns and picking Brady when Brady's a step down. If Jack Della Maddalena is champ worthy, Bilal Muhammad is the champ, and he fought Kazmat Chimaev, which is a really intense prospect as well. Doesn't have any crazy wins in recent times, but he's fighting a lot. Has 4 fights in 2 years. Sean Brady, he lost against Bilal Muhammad. Bilal Muhammad ain't no finisher, and he knocked him out. People are giving him 2 big ups for losing to Bilal Muhammad, who is champ, but he had a really good win against Kelvin Gastelum. And he has takedowns, he has submissions, but I feel like here he's worse on the feet. He has less power than Burns, less combos, less output. Burns has better wrestling, I believe, and that kind of showed it in the Jack fight. I think he can control him. He can keep it on the feet. He can stuff the takedowns of Brady, and even if he gets taken down, I think that he'll be able to have a reversal or just get up. So I don't really see fully how Burns loses. The only thing is he is 38. He is a bit wilted. He's on the way out probably, especially if he loses this fight. Brady is trying to climb up the division. He is only 1 loss in his whole career, and that's coming to Bilal Muhammad, who's a champ. I feel like this is another matchup for him that's pretty bad, where he's not going to be able to get the takedowns, and then he's going to lose on the feet. So give me Burns by decision, low medium confidence. Recapping the fights and confidence level on each fight. from top to bottom, left to right, as confidence level from first to least. So Dulgarian, Petroski, Santos, and Durden are going to be my most confident picks this week. My favorite underdog and is going to be my funky pick of the week is going to be Gilbert Burns. I feel like he's better than him on the feet. He's better than him on the ground. He's more dangerous, has more power. I think he'll be able to stuff Brady's takedowns, but the only concern is that Burns is getting miles on the tires. He's getting older. He could be on his way down, and Brady is looking to secure a higher position, work up his way in the division, but I feel like Burns is just going to be able to be one step ahead on Brady. He kind of showed that his wrestling is really good against Jack Della Maddalena, and he would have won that fight if he didn't get knocked out in the last, 2 minutes or something like that. He had 3 rounds bagged, so give me Burns by decision. My lock of the week is going to be Andrade Petroski. I don't really see a way that he loses to Dylan Budka. He's better than him on the feet. He's better than him on the ground. He's dangerous as well. It's kind of similar to how Gilbert Burns is to Sean Brady, but it's a much lower level fight, and Petroski is much higher level than Budka. Budka is not even a UFC level fighter, so give me Petroski by first round submission. That's going to be my UFC Fight Night Burns versus Brady quick picks video. If you like the breakdown, give it a like, subscribe. If you disagreed with my breakdown or any of my picks, let me know in the comments down below. Thanks for watching.